Is your money safe in the financial system? You came here for the truth. Today, I want to discuss something that is constantly on my mind. I hear it from people every single day about how much money they have made in the stock market or any other market for that matter. And what they'll tell me is that they have produced an incredible amount of gains in a particular period of time, and they say, I've made money. What I need to talk about today is that I look at it from a different angle. In fact, I usually do that anyway. I'm a contrarian against other contrarians. When I think about making gains, I always think about the end user, the person at the end of this. What does it give them? When you give your money to Apple, let's say, and you buy shares, many people think that they own, let's say, one share of Apple. They are now part owner in the company and they are growing with that company. So if Apple is $1 today, it's $2 tomorrow, they've doubled their money, they've done great. My suggestion to everyone is to think about it a little different. You haven't really doubled your money, your shares have doubled. In the event you sell, that's when you've made money. Now, of course, if that stock is giving you a dividend, you're getting regular payouts, that's a different story. But if I put $1 into Apple and they are giving me 10 cents back every quarter, I'm not getting my money back for a long period of time. So essentially what I've done is loaned money to this corporation, and in the end, I'm hoping that there will be appreciation, maybe there'll be dividend gains, and then I'll be able to take out my money and I will be able to purchase whatever I need. That's the way I think about it. I hope you understand where I'm going with that. Many people make gains in the stock market or other assets. There's a lot of money to be made, in fact. People do that every single day. There's traders who do so, and there's people who go for longer term investments. I'm not denying that. That's totally a fact. But I want to just ask you to look at it a little differently. Think of it like you don't have that money anymore, and we are under the assumption that your money will be then at a later date given back to you. You're hoping that it has appreciated from the time you put it in to the time you pulled it out. That's the way I look at so-called investing. So I hope we're all on the same page. Many people don't understand this concept or don't want to think of that concept. They think of it as making money and they can sell. Now, just hear me out for a moment here. The way that the money GPS strategy works may include buying any sort of asset. But what's really important to me is how it affects you as an individual. Now think about this. You have we'll just pick some numbers here. We will have $100,000, all right? That's my pension, that's my 401k or RRSP or super, maybe it's my stock investment, maybe it's my other assets. Okay, I have $100,000 worth. And I am hoping that all of these will appreciate at a later date. Maybe that's my pension fund money and everything else, that when I'm 65, when I retire, I will be able to take that money and I will have some income coming in. It's a great thing to have, right? What I would suggest to everyone is you have basically put everything off until you're 65. You have decided that for the next 20, 30, 40, whatever, how many years it is, that you'll wait until that moment and then you will have your assets basically be worth anything to you at that moment. Because if I held a stock from the time I was 25 to the time I was 65, even if it had appreciated several times throughout that moment in time, it doesn't really do me any good until I'm 65 and I decide to sell it. Would you agree? So this is the way I think of it. Yes, I can have these assets, that's fine. But isn't it better to have assets that pay you today, every single day? And the things that I think of is, for example, if I have a garden and I'm able to plant a pepper plant, let's say, okay? So I take that one pepper, I take the seed, let's say I bought the pepper at the store, I got the seed from it, and now I have 100 seeds there. I could plant out 100 seeds, grow 100 plants. Each of those plants has multiple fruits on it. Those fruits each have 100 seeds in them. I can then plant and plant and plant. You see where I'm going with that? These plants basically pay me every day because I can eat from the crops that I grow, and I don't need to buy food. And I'm, of course, simplifying the example. So you see where I'm going with that. So now I have an asset that's paying me all the time, or let's say reducing my expenses. And that's just one example. Think about solar panels. A lot of people don't like solar panels, they don't agree with it, whatever. There's different things. That's one example I just try to make. Solar panels. With solar panels, you can basically put those up on your roof. They will either go into a battery or be used at that time when the sun is out. And you will be able to reduce the expenses that you pay on electricity. Maybe you'll still have to pay an electricity bill, but what if you could cut it in half? What if you could cut it into 1/3 or even less? I mean, that would be great. And that's the way I look at it. I look at it like paying you today, every single day. So instead of I had that $100,000, and instead of being, putting that 30,000 in stocks, 30,000 in this real estate type investment, 30,000 in my pension fund, and so on. Instead of that, what about $30,000 inside of solar panels? And $1,000 on greenhouses and other things that I need for my backyard to grow crops. All of a sudden, things really change. I don't have to wait until I'm 65. I could be 25 and get in that now today. And then my expenses that I incur from the time I was 25 to the time I was 65 are actually significantly less throughout that period of time. Maybe I would say, let's just make up a number, $50,000. So let's say I save $50,000 between those time frames. All of a sudden, I'm looking pretty good because I didn't have to pay that all the way up until then. Now I have a lot more money that I've saved all the way up until 65, and now I have guaranteed myself those savings as well, instead of I hope that this will appreciate by the time I need to pull it out. So it does take more effort to do the money GPS strategy. It is much more effort, in fact. You have to be smart, you have to be focused, and you have to be dedicated, but that's who will prevail. Do you want to prevail? Do you want to succeed? I'm not selling you anything on this. I'm telling you a way that you don't need to buy into all this garbage that people are selling you. Get into what you need to do for yourself and your family, and that is protecting yourself and your family, getting the things that will make you self-sufficient. That's it. Whatever that means to you, you got to do it. You got to do that for yourself. All right, so that's it for this video. I just want to let you know that YouTube has done a little thing to me today, and pardon me while I just look at my screen here. They've suggested to me that if you've earned less from ads recently, it may be because of some of your videos having been identified as not suitable for all advertisers. So it actually says that right on my screen here on YouTube, shows me a whole list. And in fact, if I scroll down to the bottom, very funny. This is so funny, in fact. I did a video back on September 3rd, 2016. It's called YouTube Censoring Media in Attempt to Shut Down Free Speech. And they blocked that one as well. That's what we're talking about here. The media is shutting down independent. The YouTube, in fact, or Google is shutting down independent media, and they're doing so obviously with intention. So I hope that you will support me by giving me a thumbs up, by subscribing to the YouTube, and by commenting on these videos. That's what you can do for me, and I really appreciate it very much when you do so. So that's all. Take care. Until the next video.